and try to have lunch with them. The generational theft has already occurred. So let me talk about the solutions. The number one thing that I would do if I was there is introduce legislation to take the power away from the Federal Reserve to print money, put it back in the power of the Congress where it should be. If it's done in the open public and the public sees the trillions of dollars that are fabricated, cover the spending, the debt, and so forth, it's going to make taxes look mean. What it does for inflation, what it does to devalue the dollar. So that's number one. The second thing is to balance the budget in 4 years. Representative Ryan has been getting all this grief for his 21-year nibbling at the edges, and I commend him for what he's trying to do, but that's even unrealistic. This thing all collapses way before that. So I have a plan to balance it within 4 years, and it's drastic, but it's a 100% guaranteed to happen. Over 4 years, you eliminate all welfare, corporate and individual, at 25% a year for 4 years. What that does is it gives the states the time to reduce their budgets and get rid of, get adjusted over the course of 4 years. And I'm not saying, with this you get rid of the mandates in the states. If states want to give welfare, that's their choice. If they want to pay for it, they have to pay for it. So it would be up to the states whether they want welfare. You know, just a short 80 years ago, we had no welfare. It was nonprofits, it was the community, it was people. It is amazing what the federal government has turned into. So I would also eliminate corporate taxes because, let me get back up here. So the 4, 25, 5, 500. So 4 years, 25% a year reduction in all these programs until they're eliminated. And if that's still not enough money, you do 5% across the cut on every program the state and federal government has. My holdout would be defense. Social Security and Medicaid, I would eliminate Medicaid. Medicaid is welfare. Medicare, I would eliminate Part D. That was George Bush's $20 trillion unfunded mandate. We all have to sacrifice in this. So what I would try to save is ABC of Medicare, and then what I would, on Social Security, there's the old age pension, there's the SSDI, which is disability insurance for somebody, but then there's SSI. SSI is welfare. So if you get rid of that one, put K-12 education back to all the states, eliminate that department, and so forth. And there's a lot of others, hundreds of agencies that could probably be just eliminated. The best government is no government. If you want the most efficient and effective government, it's zero. We have to have some. So anyways, the things that I wouldn't touch in defense, as I mentioned, Social Security, as I mentioned, ABC, Social Security, old age pension, and so forth. Then obviously Obamacare has got to be repealed. I mean, that's just a given, but that's the tip of the iceberg. Okay, so after you get down to 4 years and then 5%, you will have a balanced budget within 4 years, guaranteed. Okay, it's drastic, but we're talking. Then after that, every year you start off with paying half a trillion dollars, $500 billion of the debt off of that $15 trillion. Remember, that's principal, so you have to pay that back. And so over the course of somewhere between 15 to 20 years, you know, it took us a long time to build that debt. It might take that much to pay it off. Now this is all the pre-bankruptcy stuff that I'm talking about here. The last part of that is corporate taxes need to go away entirely, along with subsidies and tax credits. Do you know that out of $200 billion in corporate taxes, by the time you get rid of all the subsidized and all the tax credits, the net effect is probably not going to be that much different to the federal government because of all the subsidies and all the corporate welfare. Once you get rid of that, then you'll see jobs be created in this country from around the world because they're going to go, okay, it's real simple. There is no corporate tax in America. There is no, because the regulations come from the Congress in two ways. They come because of regulations to stop what you're going to do, but the biggest one is monetary. They're a little hammer with their taxes. And so then the next part is actually developing an emergency plan because the bankruptcy is going to happen. Okay, bankruptcy's coming, folks. Get ready for it. The politicians are gutless and it's coming, and so we need to have an emergency plan for the civil unrest and all these other things that are going to come. And one other note about illegal immigration, if all the welfare is gone and the Americans have to take those jobs, you're going to see a big, whole different outlook on illegal immigration also. It's going to cure a lot of those problems. I'm not saying everybody that's here illegally is on welfare, but I'm saying if Americans have to take those jobs and there's no welfare to be had, illegal immigrants are only going to have two choices: go home or commit crime and get in trouble. You see what I'm saying? There ain't going to be a lot of wiggle room there. I do believe the military should be put on the border to stop it in the first place. But so then the bankruptcy occurs, and then the post-bankruptcy. Just wrap this up here. So unfortunately, I'm 1 out of 300 million American plus. So I'm doing everything like Paul Revere said. The British are coming. I'm saying the bankruptcy is coming. That's the best way I can say it. I'm one voice trying to get it out there. The bankruptcy is coming, and get ready. And so the post-bankruptcy will, I think you'll see the first ever constitutional convention where we actually have the states say, rein in the federal government, because I don't think Congress can do it itself. And so the states will come together and they will limit the federal government, is what they should do. And that's when you'll see the big fundamental changes of the tax code, the big fundamental changes of a balanced budget amendment. And the two moral ones that I think is that abortion should be illegal with the exception of the life of the mother. And it's appalling that we've had 50 million abortions. We've aborted 1/20 of our youth since 1973, a viable birth, basically. And that is a tragedy in American history. And then also marriage is between a man and a woman. I do believe homosexuality is an immoral lifestyle. It certainly shouldn't be illegal. It's up to the person what their own thing is up to, but it has no, taxpayers should not be paying for it in any way, any shape or form. And civil rights is just a code word for marriage. What they've done with the bill. Senator Logan knows more about that than I do. So with that, I'm ready for questions, and also with that constitutional convention, you can start to see the flat tax, the national sales tax, eliminate the IRS. There's all kinds of things that you can do to rein in the federal government. But like I said, we can't let our currency fail, and we better get real in this country, because even if we do it right, there'll be a depression. But if we do it like we're continuing down the road, it could be actually a civil war if our currency fails. Thank you.
Closing questions.
The way a lot of these things like the bankruptcy and the failure of the currency, because through that, he's sure. And so we didn't do anything just like in that
Well, just real quickly, this is a 50-year, I mean, Obama did inherit an economy in ICU. The way I put it is he put a pillow over his head and tried to pull the plug. I mean, that's his reaction to it. So I'm just saying that, and the other thing is, who's going to be blamed at the end of the day when it all does come?
For the Tea Party.
Yeah.
Would either of you care to respond to that question? We'll go ahead and consider that the first one.
Well, restate the question, please.
We didn't hear it. We didn't hear
Can
the
you
question.
restate the question?
The question now.
You.
What was your question?
I don't know what it was.
Okay.
No, it was about, whether, okay, I'm beginning to discover, I discovered, that's been going on in the administration, that we have more power than we know we do, the people. And the person, and I don't know who it was, but it was one person who discovered and started the Tea Party, knew that the power and the control belonged to the people, not to the government or the Democrat Party.
Okay, let me cover that a little bit from my perspective. And that is, who holds the reins of power?
Right, exactly.